Right, welcome back. Now, today on Health Club, we are talking about chicken pox. I believe that's a disease that a lot of us are very familiar with, and coming down with chicken pox, we know can be very, very terrible, an experience that nobody wants to have. But the good news is that if you get it once, you are very likely not to get it again. Now, Dr. Patrick Amumensa of the Kanishi Polyclinic has more on this particular topic and has been telling us how we can prevent it and what we should do just in case we come down with chickenpox.
Chickenpox is basically a disease caused by a virus called varicella zoster virus, more common in childhood than in the adult population, and it normally happens where there is close aggregation of people. And it is spread by close personal contacts between people, and sometimes through the respiratory roof, when somebody coughs or sneezes and some of the droplets go onto an individual, the person can also catch chickenpox. Or somebody has chickenpox, you go and sit on his bed, you could catch it, or his clothing. So that is how contagious chickenpox is. If I came to visit you and you had chickenpox, and I sat on your bed and I was talking with you, I could be at risk of getting chickenpox, more especially if I haven't had it before. When you get chickenpox once in your lifetime, you develop some level of immunity, so you don't get it again. You develop that immunity for the rest of your life. You have to avoid somebody who is having chickenpox. You could a fair amount of isolation, because close personal contact. Make sure that in any area that you are with the person, the place is well ventilated, so that droplets can easily be blown away by air, and you avoid that close personal contact. Avoid sharing of clothing with the person. Avoid sitting on the person who has chickenpox. Avoid sitting on the bed, etc., etc. So, if possible, avoid going to, that hugging the person, taking the person into your arms, and you are all at risk of getting chickenpox if the person has chickenpox. There is a vaccine, but it's not commonly used in our parts of the country. But when somebody has chickenpox, we treat it. It's a viral infection, so it runs its course. It takes about 6 to 10 days for it to run its full course. The person comes down with fever, headache, chills, feeling unwell, as it were. So in cases like that, we treat it, we call it conservatively. You try to treat the symptoms as they come. The disease will run its course. It comes with reddish, the initial stages, kind of reddish pimple-like lesions, which are itchy and painful, and later they break down, they become fluid-filled, they contain some fluid, and later they break down to form painful sores all over the body. So you give some antibiotics to prevent secondary bacterial infection. So we give antibiotics to prevent secondary bacterial infection. We give some antihistamines to ease the itching that the person would be feeling. We can also give some calamine lotion to soothe the skin. You will want to scratch the lesions or the chickenpox pimples, because of the way you want to scratch it. Sometimes, if you don't take time, you would leave some scars on the skin. We can also give you some paracetamol for the pain that you could be having. Sometimes there could be associated conditions like malaria. So we'll take your blood, we'll test it to see whether you have some malaria parasites in your blood. Then we treat. If you have malaria, we treat it too. But chickenpox is not malaria. Chickenpox is caused by a virus, and malaria is caused by a parasite. A child from, let's say, 2-3 years to, let's say, 15 years. Okay, we can classify them as children. They can all develop chickenpox. If you get chickenpox once in your life, you are not at risk of getting chickenpox again because you develop the immunity. However, you would, as you go on in life, you could come across it either in school, in your dormitories, or at the workplace, somebody who has had chickenpox. And so you could come into contact with somebody who has chickenpox. However, there are a few factors that will come into play before you finally come down with the disease. It's not everybody who comes into contact with somebody who has chickenpox will definitely come down with chickenpox disease. So how virulent the strain of the virus is one factor. Your immunity is also one factor, etc., etc. So you can get chickenpox at any point in time. Throughout the whole year, you can get chickenpox. For all these conditions, it's always better to report it to the hospital. It is diagnosed properly and then treated. Within 2 weeks after getting it being diagnosed, you should be recovering from the chickenpox. Chickenpox is more severe in people, or more dangerous in people like pregnant women or people whose immunities are low and who are not eating properly, or very young children. A pregnant woman got chickenpox. It could affect the unborn fetus inside the womb. For people whose immunity is low, then yes, it could be fatal. But apart from that, within 2 weeks, anybody, the average person, should be recovering from chickenpox.
All right, so you heard Dr. Patrick Amumensa, who has also given us a few tips as to how to help us. Those who now have it, the sad part is if you're an adult and you now have chickenpox. But this is how to deal with it if you have it now. Okay, so I'm sure that now we all have some good education on how to deal with chickenpox. I remember when I had one a few years back, I was given alcohol to take, and they said that it helps bring it out onto the skin so you can deal with it. And there are times that you're also told to smear the alcohol on the skin before the calamine lotion. Yeah, so I'm sure quite a number of us went through that process. So stay with TV3. We have a lot more when it comes to health issues and would help you prevent it. Those that are preventable, and then those that you can cure if you already are infected.